Hey everybody, excuse me. Welcome to another edition of Just Talking. We're kicking the fat, doing what we do, and enjoying each other's company. And as always, the content in today's podcast, as well as others in the Jazzy Groove Rainy Day Podcast family, are brought to you by the power of five. If you like what we're doing, support the channel. At the very least, hit the like button. Now that we got now that all of that is out of the way, let's talk about this. It seems that everybody's punching bag today, as I go through YouTube, is Walter Weeks, aka Fresh Prince CEO. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of what's going on. Okay, you got Fresh Victim as a con artist. You got Fresh Fit themselves doing the dismantling I've been preach with Bombshell Truth. Decoding Fresh Baddie Pregnancy. Uh, Fresh Prince CEO destroyed the red pill. Okay. Um, that's just some of them. It's ridiculous, is what it is. And why is it ridiculous? It's ridiculous because it breaks the first rule of common sense. And that simply is this: you can't take a definitive side until you've heard both sides of the story. Now, granted, this weekend there have been some content creators who have given you other sides. Shout out to High Side Dating with Clay. Shout out to No Fugazi with Cooley. People like that who have given both sides of it and then allowed the viewer, i.e., you, to make a informed decision. But most of them, they aren't. And to them, I've got one thing to say: stop chasing clout. You think that jumping on the bandwagon and dragging Fresh's name through the mud is going to bring you views. And it might, but it might not. And more importantly, what are you going to do if and when it comes out that Fresh was truthful? What do you do then? The smart thing to do would come out and be like, get a little blurb out before the podcast gets into it by saying, I was of this one opinion. The facts have shown otherwise. I apologize. Now on with the show. But you're not going to get that, are you? You're not going to get it. And it's infuriating to say the least. You spend all this time dragging somebody's name through the mud. You spend all this time saying, look what they did, look what they did, look what they did. They're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong. Why are they wrong? I don't know, they just are. That's not good enough. That's not good enough at all. So who are you that are doing absolutely, positively, and emphatically nothing to all of a sudden deciding, I'm going to be your conscience. I'm going to be a paragon of virtue. Dude, you ain't doing nothing. You're not about nothing. There was a song, I forget who did it. I know it's a female, I know that. But it went, one of the lines in the song, one of the lyrics was, I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. And that's today's content creators in a nutshell. You don't have a definitive point of view. You are as flighty as the wind. Whichever the wind's blowing, that's the way you're going. That ain't right. That ain't fair. That ain't kind. That ain't right. It's how you perceive it to be. And you're wrong. Dead wrong. I don't understand how you could take somebody who made a human mistake. And he's not the first. And I doubt he'll be the last. But it's something how you can take somebody who made a human mistake and then dogpile on them. Again, if the position's reversed, if it was you with these accusations, how would you feel? How would you feel? You'd feel pretty crappy, wouldn't you? You feel like the dung on the back of somebody's shoe. And I can't understand how you can okay yourself with that. Well, wait a minute. No, 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 no. Yes, I can. It's this. It's money. You can sleep with yourself at night, even if you know that what you're doing isn't right because you're getting paid for it. It's just another day at the office. Just another poor schmuck who got rolled under your bus. Oh well, they'll be all right. In the meantime, how much did we make today? And I ask you, what in the world is going on? What's going on? How can you square that? You can't square it. It's unsquareable. It's the same thing as putting a round peg in a square hole. You can't do it without a whole lot of finagling, a whole lot of fussing and fighting, and a whole lot of hammering. And even then, it's not a perfect fit. All you people who have decided in your own head that Fresh is guilty, ask yourself this: where's your proof? You have the accusations of a woman who has been arrested in China of prostitution. You have a woman, and if you don't believe me, below this, I'm going to link you to Fresh and Fit on the episode with James Sexton on it. They'll explain it to you. They'll explain it. I don't have to because they already did. But you got somebody, and also Hindsight Apps. Again, shout out to Clay and Hindsight Apps. Or Hindsight Dating now. because he brought it on his podcast. And granted, Clay and Fresh are friends. I think highly of Fresh. Haven't met the man, but from what I can see, he seems like a decent enough guy. I can give him the benefit of the doubt. See, in my world, it's innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. Innocent until proven guilty. And that's beyond a reasonable doubt. Because more money brings more problems. And this is one of the problems that he and Myron and Clay and people like uh, Cooley and other people, other prominent people in the RP space or RP aware space, this is what they're going through. Because money attracts women. Period. End of sentence. Money attracts women. The more money you have, the more women you will attract. So I ask you, how far do you think a woman would go to get money? Hold on to that thought because I'm not quite finished yet. How do you think they would feel if they thought they had the catch? They had you. They had their meal ticket. And you told them, sorry, no. For whatever reason, good reason or bad reason or a different reason, doesn't matter. You simply said, no, thank you. How long do you think it would take for this woman to decide, if he's not going to give it, I'm going to take it? And what's the easiest way for women to extract resources from a guy? I'm pregnant. I am pregnant. The easiest way to get them. And I ask you, again, how would you feel if one day everything is looking great, you're on top of the world, the next day you wake up and you see hit pieces out on you, and people are tall called against you, and everything is wrong? How would you feel? This is what people like Fresh are going through. All I'm asking is to just hold off on your opinions, such as they are, until you get more facts. Because the facts that are leaking now don't look very good for Daisy, who's the woman in question. They don't look good at all. And this is the person you're gonna pitch your wagon to. This is your queen. This is the hill you're going to die on. What? What? Something's not right. Something is simply not right. The arrest record in China, which they have documented. They showed it on screen, the American version, English version, and the original Chinese manuscript. Public record. Stop being lazy and look it up. It's out there, and it's not that hard to find. That by itself should cast doubt on the accusations. Now, granted, it could be a situation where she got railroaded or something like that, but it's highly unlikely simply because there was an arrest. If it was expunged, you'd hear about it. There was also a podcast over the weekend where Daisy was on a podcast selling her story, trying to gain as much sympathy as possible for her plight. And of all people, Destiny came in and basically destroyed her. And they weren't gotcha questions. They were simple questions. The first question he asked would pretty much sum up the entire debate between the two, in which he asked, if Walter came up to you now and said, I'm sorry, I want this to work, let's work, would you take him back? A simple yes or no answer. But no, you didn't get a yes or no answer. You got a whole diatribe and whole word vomit on just about everything else. It completely and totally boggles my mind that so many red pill aware people out there would latch onto a story that goes against everything they believe in, unless that was the point of it. But that begs the question, if you're red pill aware, wouldn't you want to make sure before you buried the dagger in the man's chest to make sure your target was correct? The woman has committed multiple felonies in the state of Florida. Fresh and Fit have retained legal counsel against this woman. That by itself should tell you how serious it is. And yet you want to, this is the person that you're going to champion? A known liar? A felon? A convict? Or soon to be convict because he hasn't been convicted yet. But this is the person that you're willing to stake your reputation on. And real quick, real quick, there's one content creator who weighed in on it, and I was disappointed. Deeply disappointed. If you watched me for a while, you know who it is. I'm not going to name him. But if you watch me for any length of time, you know who it is. Because it happened once before to this person. And just listening to them, I had to cut it off. And I've been doing that a lot lately. A whole lot. Because here I am looking for answers, looking for clarification, looking just to see if anything new's happened. Has there been any new evidence brought to light? Where is the case progressing? And then I run into this shit every day. Fresh is in trouble. Girl, girl claims pregnancy. She's got receipts. Where are the receipts? I haven't seen any yet. It's completely and totally ridiculous. I'm not going to keep you on that long because I'm going to come back later with a little bit of heavier take on it. So we'll put a pin in it for now. All I ask of anyone that's listening to this, treat him the way you would want to be treated if you were in the same position. Because believe all women, while intentions are they're noble, are horrible in practice. Because women can say anything and suffer no repercussions of it, especially if it's wrong. Amber Heard should have taught you that. But nope. It wasn't the message that was wrong, it's the messenger. So we'll try again with Daisy. Believe all women? No. Bring me the case on its merits. Let me hear it. After I hear both sides of the argument, I will deliberate on it. I will let it marinate in my head, weigh the pros and cons, reach my own decision, and at that time, and only at that time, will anybody else hear about it. Because not only will I say, this is how I feel, or this is what I believe, I can tell you why. I believe this because X, Y, Z, A, B, C. And if you have any doubts on it, you can put it in the comments below and we can discuss it. This is a conversation. The court of public opinion swings both ways. Both ways. And the sooner people realize that, the better off we're going to be. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Understand that behind the laughter, behind the smiles, there's pain. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish that on my worst enemy, least of all someone I look up to and admire. You need to do it. We don't need, you need to do better. Understand what's going on before you weigh in on it. And the faster it comes out after the fact, the more I'm believing it was for clout and views and clicks. I didn't want to make today's video, this morning's video, any more than you probably wanted to hear it. It's just getting to a point where this nonsense has got to stop. It has to end. Because you're not learning anything. You're not bringing anything new to the conversation. You're rehashing things that have been brought out before. So if you have nothing else to say or nothing to add to it, then why are you speaking? There's no shame in waiting until you have more information before you make a viewpoint known. Matter of fact, you may never hear it, but most people will actually admire that and applaud that. Because yeah, you could have been first or one of the first to bring something out, but you decided to wait till you have more information and then you make your viewpoint known. But like I said, we'll put a pin in on it. We'll be back a little bit later to discuss on it. Peace out, y'all.